Mar, and this is Hot Mode, and today on Hot Mode we are getting into our June 2020 celebrity fashion roast. Honestly, as fashion is sort of going through the motions of the oceans in the midst of the coronavirus pandemic, it's sort of important that we still talk about fashion, we still discuss what is going on with celebrities, because interestingly enough, fashion hasn't necessarily gone away. It's a bit more covert, but the girls are still turning looks on occasion. So let's get into this roast. So first up is Beyoncé. So Beyoncé is going to be releasing a new visual album called Black is King, and she's put out a little bit of a teaser trailer for it. Now, the thing is, she's wearing this full leopard bodysuit with gloves that sort of has sequins all around it because you can see the little flecks and shine. On top of that, she has some sort of like cheetah print shoes where the actual thing that's holding her foot to the stiletto is little cheetah prints that are coming down and around. And like, I love Beyonce because I think she really truly loves the detail. If you really look at the details, the woman knows what's going on, and I feel like these shoes are a perfect example of that. The other thing that I'm kind of obsessed with is the sunglasses. Like, Beyoncé, from her last visual album, Lemonade, sort of helped to put Alessandra Michele's Gucci on the map, and I feel like maybe this is some sort of reference to Alessandra Michele's very beloved, crystallized sunglasses. So, you know, maybe it's her keeping the relationship with Gucci strong. Also, she's surrounded by a lot of hot men also wearing cheetah print suits. So we're all winning here, you know what I mean? Honestly, I love Beyonce. I'm very excited for the visual album, and we do have a video that's coming out about Queen Bee, so stay tuned. So, if you do not know, Blackpink dropped a new music video, and I feel like I would be virtually crucified if I didn't talk about it. So I'm obviously gonna talk about it. The first thing we need to talk about is all of the girls just sitting together. They're in their little gowns. It's like a little moment. I loved it. I was here for it. The thing that I found about K-pop groups is the music videos are always so excessive in a good way. Like, there's just so much going on all the time, and like every scene is different and is full, it's fleshed out, it's a storyline in and of its own. I find it very interesting. There are a couple of looks though that I wanted to talk about. There are so many looks throughout the music video, so I'm gonna, you know, be very selective here, don't be upset. But we're talking about the things that are quite important fashion-wise. First up, we're gonna be talking about Jisoo, and she is wearing this Alexander McQueen gown. I believe it is a pre-fall gown, and whilst I really do love the way that the dress looks on the model from the lookbook image, I'm not obsessed with it on Jisoo here. I just feel like the way that they film a lot of the Blackpink videos, it seems very saturated in terms of like the colors are very saturated, and I think it's really important that we all note that lighting does affect how a garment is perceived in any case. And here I feel like because it's so saturated, you sort of lose that kind of grit that comes with McQueen, and I don't know if Jisoo necessarily pulls it off in the way that I want. Do I think it's a beautiful dress that has all of this sort of gorgeous lace throughout? Yes. And is lace an Alexander McQueen signature? Yes. And would I like to see Jisoo in a beautifully cut Alexander McQueen tailored suit? Yes. Do I love this dress though? No. I also don't think the little ruffle collar helps whatsoever. It's a McQueen miss. Next up, we should probably talk about a very iconic moment that I now am obsessed with, and it is the 4 members of Blackpink all looking gorgeous, stunning, beautiful in white. First up, we have Lisa, who honestly love. So the thing about Lisa is she's wearing this all white ensemble. There's this cute little bubbly vest and a nice crop top, although I'm sure it's gonna be a little bit chilly on whatever mountain we're supposed to be on, and a quite thick pant, which I believe are Montclair. And also, I really like her glove. It's like really weird and it's neon, but honestly, it's like my favorite part of the outfit. Next door to her is Jennie, and Jennie is a Chanel global ambassador. She is the Chanel girl, and you have this little Chanel crop top which has the double CC on it, which is from a Métier d'Art collection, which is one of the first done by Virginie Viard, I believe. And I like the way they've done it. I think they paired it perfectly with these overalls. That is asymmetrical, but honestly, I think it works here. It's showing off that she's a Chanel ambassador. I think it's important for Chanel. They want to be recognized. And in reality, it's important for Jennie to let the girls know she's a Chanel ambassador. I don't know if you understand, but like that's kind of a big deal. So she's sort of like, oh my God, like I'm a Chanel ambassador, but she's also like, oh my God, I'm a Chanel ambassador. So in reality, I actually think it works really, really well here. And I do like her one minky cuff. It's very hot, very sexy. Next up is Jisoo, and she is wearing a Dior parka. Now here's the thing, this is that anorak parka, or it's like the camouflage one that Maria Grazzi has sort of made modern and a little bit feminine. It's actually one of my favorite things that she's done at Dior. Here it's done in a white, so you're not really able to see a lot of the detail, because the thing is, if there's so much white and the light is very bright, it's difficult to see the shadows, which sort of helps you to see a lot of the details in clothing. But in reality, trust me, it's actually very, very cute. I like the way it's done. You know, listen, very rarely do I like what Maria Grazia does. Jisoo is pulling it off, and I'm proud. And finally, the last is Rosé. She is wearing this marine Serre little bralette with like a little top, so that's actually why you see the two marine Serre signature crescent moons on her shirt. I like the skirt that's paired with it. It feels very modern. It has a little slit. It's giving me like kind of edgy vibes. I love that they paired a little like Sherpa jacket on top. It's not white, but I feel the fact that it's like a very light cream sort of allows me to take it, and I wouldn't really notice unless I'm actually, you know, looking at it. And I mean, Lisa had her little neon gloves, so everybody can have a moment. Also, whatever these very thick leg warmers are, I think they're very chic, and I'm kind of hoping that Rosé puts them on the map, because like I would wear the shit out of those in like different colors. I'd match them with my shorts in the summer. It'd be really hot. I'm very obsessed. So next up is BTS. Now BTS just put out a new music video. I believe it's called Stay Gold. And in reality, before the actual music video came out, there was this really gorgeous little shoot that was done by Vogue Japan with BTS, and they're all wearing Prada. Somebody's wearing a Prada bolo tie, so like automatically I had to stan. There's a couple of like Prada graphics in the front here. It's a little bit blue, it's a little bit khaki. There's some full white looks. There's a little bit of color going on, but for the most part, besides the bolo tie, I'm not really obsessed with these images. I do feel like BTS is toned down a lot. Like a lot of the time, it doesn't feel like they're going for it in the way that I would expect them to go for it. I feel like K-pop groups have a lot more fun fashion-wise than Western celebrities and musicians, so I feel like I'm kind of always a little bit let down recently by BTS, which kind of sucks. And then for the most part, the Stay Gold music video, I feel like the BTS army is gonna literally drag the shit out of me, but I didn't love it. Honestly, it felt very sad and depressing, and I understand it was meant to be like sad and depressing, but I just felt like the clothing didn't help to tell the story. I really do feel like a lot of the times fashion is a great way to help move a narrative along, and I feel like this BTS music video, the boys were in, you know, a lot of flannel and khaki and pants and denim, and it just never got there. It never had a moment where I was even like, oh, that's kind of cute. I was just like, waiting. Next up is Cardi B, and she is wearing vintage Burberry, and she's here with her little daughter, Culture, and I'm very happy because the girls are matching. And listen, I love a matching moment. So Cardi is wearing a Burberry and Vivienne Westwood collaboration hat, which I believe is vintage. She paired it with a little white sort of turtleneck and a little Burberry plaid skirt. Honestly, is it crazy, ridiculous, over the top Cardi? No, but even at home, you know, she's sitting at home, she's quarantining, we love to see it, she's fighting for people's rights. She still looks good. She looks damn good. And the other thing is, I feel like with fashion, a lot of people probably are trying to help small independent designers. People are trying to buy from them. And a lot of the times, the other thing is, there are a whole slew of people that sell vintage that might not be getting that same love. So if there are any local, online, super cool vintage dealers that you are obsessed with, I'm thinking maybe I should do a video about it where we just go like online vintage shopping, because that would be fun. But support them, you know, buy some stuff. you know, find cool things. Send them messages that you love them. I'm sure they need that support right now. Overall, Cardi being sustainable and making me look at something Burberry without making me gag seems like a win to me. So next up is Chloe and Halle, and they have been storming the goddamn coronavirus pandemic music scene. Like, they've been delivering, they've been performing, they've been doing it digitally. I'm obsessed. So the first look that we're gonna be talking about is this Delia Aline catsuit set. I'm gonna call it a set because they're both wearing them. Now, I believe that Chloe is wearing the yellow and Halle is wearing the pink. Now, honestly, do I wish that the whole thing was ruched? Maybe, possibly, but I do feel like the fact that we're getting a little bit of a cutout, we're exposing some breasticles, which I love. We're getting a full suit, like it goes to here, like that's full. There's sleeves and all, and you know, it's hot over in LA. And honestly, I think the pants, high-waisted pants being fully ruched is also kind of nice. I do love a ruching. I do think that it works. I'm not as obsessed with the yellow as the pink. And that's something weird that seems to always happen. I don't know why, but Chloe's looks never ever hit me the way that Halle's do, and I don't know why. And honestly, I'm at a point where I'm looking at everything and I'm like, I don't think it's me. Sometimes I feel like all of Halle's looks slap and Chloe is like, hey, and I'm like, I want Chloe to slap as well. Like, that's what I want. I want there to be a moment. I want there to be this take-off, break-off moment. And maybe I understand it because Halle is sort of the Little Mermaid, and you know, she is, I don't want to say the more popular of the two, but she definitely seems to catch a lot of the limelight, and I want Chloe to do that. I want her to step out and punch the fashion sartorial standards out of the way and give me something super amazing. But I am happy to see them in Delia Aline, and I'm hoping that we see some more Delia Aline from them in the future. Now, they both did do a shoot for Teen Vogue. The first looks from this Teen Vogue shoot we're going to be talking about are these Area looks. Now, Area is a New York City based brand, and they're very much so beloved for their little like crystal lines that sort of pipe a lot of their garments. And here they're both wearing these sort of reflective looks. Chloe is in a dress, it's a little like peachy, pinky. Halle is wearing this sort of purple teal bodysuit that's like a short bodysuit. Honestly, I'm really obsessed to see the actual little crystals. Like, that's how you know it's an Area piece, and I'm happy to see them wearing cool young brands. I feel like that's what Teen Vogue is for. I'm very happy to see it. Am I obsessed with the silhouettes of the look? Not necessarily, but I do really like the material choice, and I do really like the way that we're getting to see a little bit of Area on two very popular up-and-coming artists. The other thing that I really love about Chloe and Halle is the way that they sort of wear similar looks, but they're always different. They do sort of differentiate them, which I think is really important because they are two different artists, although they are a duo. Here, they're wearing the Attico, and they're wearing these like zebra print looks. I'm just gonna say it again. Halle, I love this off the top, large sleeve zebra look. It's low cut, it's really gorgeous. And then for Chloe, it's like, you know, it's a nice dress, but it looks like Reformation. And like, I wanna see something crazy. I wanna see something amazing from her. And it just feels like every time it's sort of stifled, and I need to know what's happening because I don't want that. I want them to both shine equally, although differently, but equally. So the final Chloe and Halle looks that we're going to be talking about are these TLZ Le Femme looks. Now, there's this black and white photo which shows both Chloe and Halle, but this image of Halle actually showcases the fact that the textiles that they're wearing actually are these reflective materials, and I feel very much so in love with reflective material currently. I just feel like that sort of like 3M reflective style is very chic, it's very in, it feels something that the 2020s is gonna love, power through, and hopefully innovate on. Now, the thing is, I'm obsessed with Halle's look here. I think it's gorgeous. I love the little bra cups. I love the little ribbon that wraps around her waist and the one that goes into her pants. And it's a nice sort of thick pant, you know, it's baggy, it's draggy, it's nice. But my thing about Chloe's look is I'm not really super obsessed with the bra top. I'm just and I just feel like I'm seeing that like little bit of ruching on the side, and it's just, I don't know, it's ruining it for me. And then I love the idea of the ribbons coming down here. I feel like it's gonna help create shape in a different way than just accentuating the waist with a ribbon or a belt or whatever. But I don't really like the little lip on the pants. I know that's like super minute, but I don't love it. I wish that they had been inside of the pants, because then we would have got that full V effect. But in reality, I think Chloe and Halle are taking a different lane fashion-wise. It's not, you know, the Blackpink sort of style where Lisa goes and does YSL and Jennie goes and does Chanel and Jisoo is wearing Dior. Like, I feel like they're actually really focusing on small brands. They're working with young brands. Area, the Attico, TLZ La Femme. Like, there are some really cool styles that they're pulling out from really young brands, and honestly, that's what I ask for every day. So please go stan Chloe and Halle. Like, I'm obsessed. Do it. Do it! Next up is Grimes. Now, Grimes just had a baby, and I feel like that's why everybody's kind of obsessed. And the baby's name is something I cannot pronounce, because honestly, it looks like a social security number. But let's talk about this Valentino moment that she's wearing. Now, I believe this is for like Rolling Stones or something like that, but listen, I love a flowy, thick-ass Valentino gown. I like that it's sheer and we can like see some leg going on. Also, it's a nice color. I like the way that they've shot it digitally. I feel like the way that it's sort of burning on the bottom sort of adds a little bit of, you know, edginess that is very much so Grimes, but I also feel like Valentino can easily play into that sort of edgy style. Is it the craziest image I've ever seen in my entire life? No. But honestly, I haven't seen a lot of Valentino haute couture recently, so I think I'm starving for a little bit of beauty. Next up is Janelle Monae, who I'm fully obsessed with, and she actually is on the cover of Variety. Now, Janelle has sort of shed her signature black and white, it seems, for this shoot in order to opt for this amazing yellow, like, body con plated piece. Now, I feel like these pieces have sort of come back in fashion because Tom Ford did it, and then, you know, a bunch of people did it before him. It seems to be making its way back into the realm of fashion, and I feel like Janelle is sort of turning it on its head here. There's like, this is like a full ass body piece that is sculpted to her. I love the exaggerated shoulders. I love like the breasts. I feel like it's not normally like the breasts that we would think of, but honestly, normalize all breast sizes, all breast shapes, all breasts in general. I'm here for it. I'm living for it. And then honestly, it nips in the waist and we start to see a little bit of hip action here. Honestly, I love the material. I think it's beautiful. I love these sculptural pieces. And here, I feel like Janelle really, really rocked it. She always goes for it. And honestly, it always pays off for her. Also, I like need to know about these gloves, because like if she has a latex dealer, like what's his number? Next up is another yellow look. And here's the thing about Janelle Monae. When she's dedicated to something, she's dedicated to it. So she's wearing this little button down in yellow and a sort of like little sailor hat in yellow, and I love this shirt as well because it sort of has these little flaps that help create a bit of shape up top. But as you sort of go down and you get to the hip area, it seems like there's some sort of like shirt or pants or dress or whatever with sleeves, and it's been sort of shimmied down on the waist and tied in the front. But the way that they've been styled, which I feel like this is a real case of styling here, it sort of has created more shape to the hips. So in reality, it actually perfectly accentuates the body and sort of exaggerates it without being too in your face, being too ridiculous. It's like the perfect styling tool, and I'm very obsessed with it. The last look is this just really gorgeous sort of wool yellow coat with this amazing hat. I don't even know what kind of hat it is, but I do love her. And I love the fact that it's this beautiful full coat. There's nothing being worn underneath because we're seeing a little bit of cleavage, or maybe there is stuff underneath, I don't know. But honestly, it's gorgeous, it's stunning. Janelle Monae, when she picks something, she goes for it. It always works out. I'm always obsessed, I'm always intrigued. The queen of avant-garde fashion besides Solange Knowles, so we stand. Next up is Jennifer Lopez, and she is wearing Coach. Now, I'm not the biggest fan, and I feel like her and Stuart Bevers, who is the creative director of Coach, are like having a romantic relationship, and I don't know, maybe there's a throuple involving A-Rod. Who knows? But she's wearing this suede sort of safari jacket that's belted with a pair of leather shorts in this beautiful light brown that, you know, if I wasn't looking really hard, I would think that they're probably the same material. I don't love the bag attached. I don't really feel like it's very chic, and I feel like Coach has had a really, really hard time sort of defining the brand outside of the aesthetic from years ago, which is sad because I feel like Coach is a great American brand that could sort of be brought back into the mainstream. It could be something that's cool, it could be something relevant, but unfortunately they just haven't found their footing, and I think this bag is a great example because a lot of the times it sort of references back to like the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, and it's like the Gen Z kids on TikTok don't give a goddamn shit about J-Lo in a 70s safari jacket and leather shorts. On top of that, I do like these boots. I think they're chic. I like a sexy platform, and for that we have to thank the 70s. Honestly, the look is a flop, but also like it's J-Lo, so she looks really good always, but like the styling is never where we need it to be. Cause like, I want Jennie from the block, or I want like Made in Manhattan Jennifer Lopez. Whatever Jennifer Lopez this is, I don't want. Next up is Miss Kendall Jenner, and I'm only really talking about Kendall because her caption for these photos, wearing Kendall x Kylie makeup collab and not much else. Well, your two gloves, your bra and your panties are things, and it just happens to be 4 things that you're wearing besides the Kendall and Kylie collaboration on your face. Caption didn't really work out. I do like these little gloves. I do like the fact that they match the bra and the little panties, and I do feel like the little fur piping around is very, very cute. It's very, very chic. In reality, you know, it's there, it happened. I felt like I needed to talk about it. So next up is Kim Kardashian, and now Kim Kardashian, she's pretty canceled. But at this point, she has been working with a lot of young Black-owned brands, and I do feel like it's important that we discuss that because I don't feel like I should hurt those Black-owned brands by not discussing them, even though it's on Kim. So the first look we're gonna be talking about is this little pink set by Saudi Islam. Now, I'm obsessed with little cutout. I love the fact that it's a bandeau with this sort of stretched out sleeve top. I feel like it's very much so, you know, the look of 2019, 2020. And I do really love this little skirt. It is tight, and I love the little cutout on it. Is it anything crazy? Is it anything ridiculous? No, but I do feel like it's great that Saudi Islam's brand is being sort of pushed out into the world, and it's something that does seem a little bit more commercial while also being, you know, a little bit fashion. It has its moments. There's cute little aspects of it that, you know, makes it a little bit more chic, but, you know, keeps it cute, keeps it things that people actually will understand and probably want to buy. So in reality, I think it's cute. I'm here for it. I'm happy. Next up is this sort of Father's Day image that came out of the Kardashian-Wests. Now, they all are wearing Mowalola from what I understand, or maybe not all, but the 3 main players here are wearing Mowalola. On the right, you have a look from her Spring/Summer 2020 Fashion East collection on Kanye. It's this beautiful leather, and the thing about Mowalola that you have to understand is the woman knows how to work with leather. She prints on it these amazing graphics. It's really, really beautiful. The way she manipulates it, the way that it sort of bounces the light off of it, it's really stunning. I do love Mowalola's work. Kim is actually wearing custom pieces. They are not pieces from the runway, and that seems to be a very Kim sort of thing. It's this brown look that definitely does have a runway style, but doesn't actually come in that color on the runway. And then there's this sort of really dark blue-green coat that, you know, she's layered on top. It's very, very sweet. And then on the left, the literal fashion fucking icon, Northwest. I'm sorry I cursed about like a 5-year-old, but she's an icon. Like the girl turns looks, and she's been turning looks since like she was birthed. So I'm very obsessed. She is wearing this definitely custom lime green and brown cow print dress. The cow print is something that now I'm very much so associate with Mowalola. I just sort of wish that North also had the little handbag because I feel like that would be amazing, iconic, stunning, wonderful. I feel like the bag also could be like miniaturized for North. But in reality, I love to see the fact that the Kardashian-Wests are promoting the shit out of Mowalola. She deserves it. She's wonderful. She's iconic. We stan. The other thing is Kim actually posted a photo recently with her and Kanye in a much more fashion-y sort of oriented way. She's wearing that triangle leather top. She has these sort of high-waisted little wide leg brown pants. Kanye is wearing his little black leather. And the great thing about it is Mowalola's work, you can actually see all of the work in the back, the way that it's sort of bonded and strappy. It's really, really interesting. It's an interesting way to construct the actual garment, and I feel like the way that the straps are sort of helps to elevate that top so that it doesn't just sit on the body, but rather it sort of has a little bit of space between the body and itself. Also, if you guys didn't know, Mowalola is actually the design director of Kanye's Yeezy and Gap collaboration collection, so I am very excited for that. I'm very happy for Mowalola, and I think there's gonna be a lot of cool stuff coming from her, so she's somebody to keep your eye on. Then there's Kylie, and now Kylie for like Vogue Czechoslovakia. There's a fucking Vogue Czechoslovakia, but there's not a Vogue in not any one of the African countries. Doesn't make sense to me. But she's wearing this Balmain look. I'm not obsessed. They like definitely didn't send her a good one. It's very short, and like that's not normally a problem, but like it's actually really short. Like I can see panty underneath, which like it's not a bad thing, but you know, make it an interesting panty if I'm gonna have to see it. I don't love the drape of all of this sort of, I don't even know what that is. It's like a chiffon. The way it's twisted, the way it's warped, it's not symmetrical. It sort of looks like a blue dick on her breasts. It's just sort of weird. I'm not obsessed. And whatever this like coat is that's falling off of her body, I don't like that much either. I do feel like this shoot was probably styled by Kylie's team, which and the thing is, it's not shot by probably a Vogue Czechoslovakia editor, so, you know, it's just not the best moment I've ever seen from Kylie, so it's a flop. Next up is Lady Gaga. Now, Gaga has been promoting her latest album, Chromatica, and in reality, I think I want to do a whole video about Chromatica and sort of the evolution of the album and sort of how it's changed our perception of Gaga fashion-wise, because it does feel a lot more light. It does feel a lot more colorful, where I feel like fashion-wise we know Gaga for that avant-gardeness or that really like dark sort of edgy glamour. But here I think we're all sort of seeing a different Gaga, one that's a little bit more happy, a little bit more light, and I don't really know fashion-wise if we're used to that, and I think it's gonna take this album for us to get used to that. So the first look that she wore on this Chromatica Zoom call is this bodysuit, and there are all these little silver crystals that are all over it. It's on the breasts, it's on the sleeves, it's on the shoulders, it's sort of like on the badge, it's on the hem of the bodysuit. Was I obsessed with it? No, not at all. It's actually, it's not good. I don't like it. It scares me. It makes me feel some type of way that's not good. But she then changed and wore whatever this is. Now this is by the brand BCALLA, and it is crazy. Like as she's like singing and dancing, it's like moving with her. It has all these little like feathers that are jumping off of it, and it kind of reminds me of that Iris Van Herpen dress that has like the 3 chicken heads jumping out of it. So in that way, I'm interested in it, and I feel like, again, Chromatica is the album where I think Gaga's going a little bit different, a little bit more out there. It's a little bit crazy, but it's not the crazy that we're normally used to. It feels a little bit more costumey. If it makes me laugh, I'm happy with it. I do feel like the best fashion makes you laugh. So in that regard, Gaga's winning there, but I do want to see more elevated looks from her. I understand we're in the middle of a pandemic, so like I can't be asking too much, but I do hope that as Chromatica goes on, we're gonna see, you know, her turn out some moments, because I feel like there are some really cool designers that she would work with that would make some cool ass shit happen. So that's my hope for the future. Next up is my sweet baby angel, Lil Nas X. I'm just obsessed with him. He makes me very, very happy. But he did get a Gucci campaign. Now, in reality, am I very happy for him because he got a Gucci campaign? Yes, like he's gonna get a lot of money from that. He's in with Gucci. It's really good for his branding. It's really good for him as an artist. But the thing is, and you'll see it with the Harry Styles, oftentimes when you start to work with a brand very heavily, it feels like you're almost sort of in debt to that brand and you have to wear that brand a lot. And it's sort of, in my opinion, isn't the greatest thing for Lil Nas X, because honestly, I think he's turned out some of the most iconic, amazing looks of 2019. He's wearing this little corduroy pant, he's wearing these ugly Gucci sneakers, a little denim jacket, a little bag. It's not anything crazy, but also I understand that this Gucci campaign was about like sustainability, but I do really hope that Gucci does not allow Lil Nas X to have his fashion light dampened. I mean, I'll never forget that Versace look, I'll never forget the green look with the gloves, and that's the thing that we really love about Lil Nas X, so I hope that in a way Gucci allows him to sort of take it that one step further in the way that he always does. That's just my hope. I just hope nobody is, you know, gonna like strangulate his fashion love and avant-gardeness with, you know, I just hope they allow him to do other stuff besides Gucci. That's it. That's all I ask for. I'm just very proud of him because I stand. The last look we'll be talking about is Sandra On Valentino, and she looks gorgeous. She looks stunning. For those asking, I don't watch Killing Eve, so I probably will not be making a video about it, so I'm really sorry. I do love Sandra. I think she's gorgeous. I think she's stunning. I think she always definitely tries to put herself out there fashion-wise, and here this is a great example of it working. It looks like she's in the streets of New York. I'm looking at like the bike lane here, and I love this orange gown. It's beautiful. This color is striking. I love the texture. It is very crinkly and wrinkly, but in a way, I feel like it's kind of perfect. We need a little bit of a fashion moment, and I feel like this is that sort of high-end editorial that we expect from fashion, and it's great that we're getting it even in the middle of a pandemic. So that is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If there's anybody I missed, I'm very sorry, but for the future, for our July roast, make sure that you're sending me some stuff that you want me to talk about throughout the month, because there's a lot of people to keep track of, so please help me out. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one, and TTYL.